What's up, guys? It is Bill of the universe. Yes, honey. I'm driving to my next student. I teach music. I teach private lessons. So I'm driving to my next student. Okay. Uttara Phalguni. What can I say about Uttara Phalguni? Just kidding. I mean, yes, there's all the basic stuff. It's ruled by the sun. Half of it sits in Virgo, half of it sits in Leo. The sun is such a warm planet. It's such a light-giving planet. So people with Uttara Phalguni, they can be a very, very popular person. They can be like the heart of anything, of any group, of any setting. So if you have like a social setting, like a friend group, or if you have like a cast of a TV show or something like that, you can bet that whoever is Uttara Phalguni can be seen as like the heart of the group. So like I have like personal examples of people in my personal life, but I'm trying to think of people that are famous that y'all would think that y'all would know. There's like, so if you've heard of the Try Guys is like a group of dudes on the internet, and they try things, and they're pretty popular on YouTube. And so the guy who is Zach Kornfeld, he's oftentimes seen as like the heart of the group. And he's like the most frail and the most weak because he has a lot of he has an autoimmune issue, but he is, even though he's like the frailest one, the smallest one, the kind of the puniest one, like he's the heart of the group. Like he's the most loved out of everyone. He's the person people have the least qualms with. Like sun people are just so warm like that. It's a very, very warm placement. It's a very masculine placement. So these people, a lot of the men, especially with Uttara Phalguni, they will be like the leaders of their social group. So I go to the YMCA and I go to their Bible study, and the guy who runs the Bible study, it's all men. Like it's a men's Bible study, and it's all ages, right? This guy is like 90 years old. Literally, he's 90 years old. And he drives a Cadillac. The basketball gymnasium in the YMCA is named after him. Like he built the chapel that's on the property, on the lot behind the YMCA with his own money. Like he's on the board of the YMCA. He's just an absolute pillar of his society, of his social circle. And everyone knows who this man is. Everyone knows this guy. Even if you don't kind of like these people, because these people can be very in your face. They can be strongly opinionated. Oh my gosh, they can be opinionated as shit. Especially like the women, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, he's just the pillar. He's the main one. Some people in general can be like the pillar of their family, social group, stuff like that. So Claire Nakti, the astrologer, did a study, and it was revealed that Uttara Phalguni ascendant was the most like handsome placement. She did like all the male models, like all the men who are on Men's Sexiest Man Alive on People magazine. Sorry. And it was almost consistently Uttara Phalguni ascendant, which is Virgo ascendant. And I really don't date much. If we're dating, it's because I see something really, really, really special about you. There's something really, really, there's truly something really special about you if I'm gonna date you. And the last guy I dated was an Uttara Phalguni ascendant, and he was incredibly handsome. So that I kind of thought that was a really, really, really cool coincidence. Yeah, Uttara Phalguni in general is because it's solar, it's just an incredibly masculine placement. Even the women who have this placement, they won't exactly be masculine. They'll still be really, really feminine, and very warm and sweet and kind. But they are just fiercely independent. You know, a lot of times when sun women, especially Uttara Phalguni, when these women when they date a guy, they will date him because he's kind of passive, or because he's kind of someone who's more into her than she is into him. Like, she's just a very feminine, independent, fierce person. And it doesn't even mean that she'll be a bitch, or she'll be, you know, a man-eater, or some type of, you know, dragon lady, you know, boss CEO. It's like none of that stuff. It's all just a very kind, sweet, warm-hearted woman who's just really fiercely independent. Like, it's not in her nature to bend over backwards for a man, to lose her integrity over a man. It's not in her nature to tolerate bullshit in a man. You know, it's because the sun is such a warm, masculine planet that these women are warm and very loving and very, you know what, they're actually very sensual too. A lot of I see most Uttara Phalguni women having dark hair, either darkish reddish, or brunette, or very dark, you know, black hair, or dark brown hair, but mostly dark brown hair, and very, very pretty, very sensual looking, pretty face, but is independent, you know, and is not. Usually I don't find these women being like, oh, when am I gonna get a man? Where's my husband? Like, they're saying, what? Who? So some women are really cool like that. They're very independent. Hold on, I've got some coffee. You see that? So let me drink my coffee real quick. But it's true what I said, that Uttara Phalguni women can tend to more date someone who's kind of like more, I don't know, like they just tend to wear the pants in their relationships. That's kind of all Uttara Phalguni energy. You know, it can be a dominating energy, you know. And because it's the sun, it can actually be, I see a lot of people being very educated with this energy. I see a lot of people getting extra education, so going beyond high school. And I especially see them getting it in like English, or philosophy, or social studies, or history, something like that. Not necessarily the arts or the sciences, but more like social sciences and grammar and language, literature, something more like that. The women are just so pretty. Like I said, they are very masculine. So even though they're very beautiful and soft, they, you know, a lot of these women, when they were kids, I heard that a lot of these women kind of felt like they were too boyish to even be a good type of girl, you know, or they were kind of bad at being a good model type of girl, because they were always, you know, skinning their knees or hanging out with the boys. And, you know, so I know an Uttara Phalguni moon lady, and she had like 4 brothers. She's the youngest of 5, so she just grew up real rough and tough like that. And my mom was the same way. She's a Sun woman, and she grew up poor with a whole bunch of boys and cousins, and she just grew up rough like that, you know. So they're all very, very pretty, but they all kind of grew up rough. They grew up, you know, skinning their knees and getting hurt and getting in trouble, and you know, they're very extroverted. Uttara Phalguni is so extroverted. It's really cool. The men are, like I said, it's very sexy. What's his name? There's quite a few men who have Uttara Phalguni who are very, very sexy. One is James Franco. He's an Uttara Phalguni moon. He's very handsome, isn't he? And who's that man that did the Magic Mike? The young guy, the dancer. Not Joe Manganiello. Like the guy with like the really soft skin and the beautiful lips. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He is a Uttara Phalguni moon. And who else? John Mayer is an Uttara Phalguni native. Sean Connery is Uttara Phalguni. So a lot of very good looking guys. Like a lot of very sexy guys. A lot of guys that attract a lot of attention. The other thing that was made clear through watching that Claire Nocte video, and if you want to watch that video, it's Claire Nocte most beautiful placements, something like that, and it goes over the placements for the men and the women. But for the men, it was Uttara Phalguni ascendant, because these men are so masculine, because they attract so much like female attention. This can be like a player energy. So, you know, Sean Connery is a Uttara Phalguni native, and he is the original James Bond. You know, someone who's just smooth with it, someone who's sturdy with it, you know, but really just smooth, you know, just smooth talker, just a player, you know. And it was funny because I actually watched the Sturniolo triplets, and they were talking about how Matt or Chris, one of the triplets, is a player. And I always did notice how they are a little more masculine acting. They don't look it. They have like very smooth, like pretty faces, but they act a lot more masculine than they looked. And it didn't seem like a farce. It didn't seem like they were putting on a show or something. They generally just seemed like naturally very masculine people. And their brother is gay, and you know, gays are usually a little more feminine. I can say that because I'm gay. And even the gay brother is like more masculine than most gay people. And then I find out that they're all Uttara Phalguni moon, so that like makes perfect sense. And if you look up Sturniolo triplets, like it's these three triplets, and they're really cute. And they have like all these girls. I mean, it's like going to a Shawn Mendes concert, like going to one of these like Sturniolo triplet, you know, events. So yeah, this energy brings in so much feminine energy. So if you're dating an Uttara Phalguni man, you are probably a moon woman, or you're probably a sun woman, or you are an Uttara Bhadrapada woman, which is a star in Pisces. So and vice versa. If you're dating an Uttara Phalguni woman, then you will be the opposite. So if you're dating, so Uttara Phalguni is the sun, right? So if you're dating a sun native, then opposites attract. Then you could be a moon native. So my ex was a sun native because he was Uttara Phalguni ascendant. I'm a moon native because I'm Hasta moon. So, you know, so if you are an Uttara Phalguni native, you should look at the charts of your close ones, because most likely they'll be sun natives as well, or they'll be the opposite moon native. And if you're dating someone who's an Uttara Phalguni, then you yourself might be a moon native. Moon native or sun native, and in rare cases you're a Saturn native. Saturn and sun are enemies. Saturn and sun, hold on. Saturn and sun are kind of enemies. You know, sun is very glorious. Sun is very visionary. Sun has no problem walking in with his chest out, walking into a room with so much pride, and just claiming the throne. Sun has no problem doing that. And not only that, but Sun is a generally good leader. Generally, Sun is a good leader. Saturn is not boastful at all. Saturn is very liberal. Saturn will let you do whatever you want to do. And in ancient times, during Saturnalia, during Roman times, Saturnalia was worshiping the god Saturn because he used to be a very fair leader. And Saturn is very liberal that way. Saturn is wants everyone to have a voice. But Sun can be too egotistical, too pompous, too arrogant to even like hear out somebody, you know? So that's how Saturn and Sun can kind of like go head to head. I am a Saturn ascendant, okay? My brother is a Sun ascendant. So those are naturally enemy type of what the fuck am I saying? Planets. So right now, unfortunately, me and my brother, we don't even talk right now. So, and it's because Sun, which is him, is so used to being, the one who has the last say, or the one who, is bossing around, or the one who's being arrogant. And then Saturn, usually is whatever kind of takes it. Saturn usually kind of takes it because Saturn is poverty. So Saturn is used to kind of being the underdog, or the odd one out, or the one who's being pushed to the side. Saturn represents marginalized groups. So, what the few times when Saturn decides that they don't want to take any more of this bullshit, like, it'll make Sun completely blow up. It'll make Sun, like, so angry, I know that's kind of off in a tangent, but long story short, Saturn and Sun cannot be friends. They can definitely not be friends. Okay, where am I going? What is this? Shadow Bend. I did not mean to do that. Great. Did not mean to do that. Okay. This can be a real player energy. I have a friend who is Uttara Phalguni Moon, and she told me that if she were a guy, she would be a player. And I think that's so interesting that she said that, because she's Uttara Phalguni Moon. Remember what I said, Uttara Phalguni is incredibly masculine. If you have something like Rahu in Uttara Phalguni, this will make you crave very, very masculine things. So my friend has Moon and Rahu. No. Moon and Ketu, I'm sorry. Moon and Ketu in Uttara Phalguni. She said that she wanted to be a gangster's wife when she was a little girl. That's like very, very Sun. That's very, very masculine. A lot of gangsters are Sun natives. So if you're heavy Sun, like Uttara Phalguni, you're gonna be kind of like just like a real masculine type, kind of stoic face. You'll be nice and you'll be kind, but you'll also have just like like a toughness to you, because it can be very, 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 very masculine. Catherine Zeta-Jones is a Uttara Phalguni native, and her husband, the last 20 years, what's his name, Michael Douglas, he is a Moon native. So you see how those opposites attract. I said how Sun will attract the Moon. So he is Michael Douglas is a Hasta Moon, which is Moon. And Catherine Zeta-Jones is a Uttara Phalguni, which is Sun. So both opposite attracts. My best friend for a long time was Uttara Phalguni Moon, and I was Hasta Moon. So it was exactly opposite. It's very, very, very fucking intelligent. It's very, very intelligent. Hold on. So remember I said there's a lot of... Sorry. There's an aspect of education here. So these people can get a really, really good education, or they'll just be really smart. Bill Clinton is an Uttara Phalguni. I don't know what he is. Uttara Phalguni, sun, moon, or rising. But he's one of those. And he's incredibly intelligent. And also, you know, Uttara Phalguni being a player energy. Bill Clinton was a player. You know, Bill Clinton always had a wandering eye. So, you know, that's really fucking common with Uttara Phalguni, especially in the men. And Tiger Woods also is an Uttara Phalguni native, and he also has a wandering eye. So there's a lot of actually very notorious players in popular culture where there's Uttara Phalguni men who are notorious players. But it's a very desired energy. It's the most masculine planet. I will say this also, and I don't know why I'm saying it, but it's kind of random. So I did this study on men with big dicks, and the planet that showed up the least in my study was actually the sun, the planet that rules over Uttara Phalguni. So it's not to say that they have like small penises, but I'm just saying like these guys, they are truly, 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 truly masculine. And the reason why they didn't show up in my study about guys with big dicks is because guys with big dicks, what came in their pattern, in their charts, was a lot of very, very, very negative energy that makes men cruel and merciless and a danger to themselves and others. So basically it's implying that a lot of guys who are hung are guys who are malefic in some type of way. You know, they're kind of bad boys, basically, you know. And the sun had no place in that assignment, because the sun is an incredibly masculine star. So instead of staying home and just like, you know, taking your dick out, it's actually at work, you know. It is in the military. It's a soldier, you know. It's all the things that sun people are good at, doing things that other people won't do, like making necessary sacrifices for your family. So, because sun people have a lot of heart. So Uttara Phalguni people, you'll see them making tremendous sacrifices, you know, for their families, for the loved ones. It's kind of a weird thing with sun. It's like, but then they get so emotional, and then they kind of get like withdraw. But then they don't want to like emotion, very, very highly emotional things. They're not really good at that. And if they do cry, you know, it's very much like a little tear right here. So it's like, it's such a masculine placement. Anyway. Okay. I think that's enough. Bye.